Shalom, call all y'all about Shin Hosha. Shalom to the elect. This is a quick video showing how the Most High making good on His word. Actually breaking down Esau right before our eyes. And you ever ride around, you pay attention. You know, you go in the stores, and you see how these Edomites be, man. They be through, man. And this part of them curses being lifted off us and being put on them. So let me let this play real quick.
Commute to get to his job as a banquet server. It's 160 kilometers, almost 2 hours each way from his home in East Brunswick, New Jersey, to his job in Atlantic City. He doesn't do it by choice, but out of necessity. It's the only job he can find where he makes enough income to survive each month, but barely.
People, I don't always think, realize what it's like to have to live on half a penny. You know, I call it sometimes splitting pennies.
Brian is one of an estimated 125 million Americans who live paycheck to paycheck. It's now even made harder by rising inflation. For many years, the inflation rate in the U.S. hovered around 2%, but it's been steadily increasing this year to where it's now about 5.5%, the highest it's been since 1990. Food, rent, energy, new cars, those are the sectors that have seen the biggest price jump. And economists say it only takes a slight increase in inflation to cause a huge impact.
The perception that inflation is a problem could lead us to make some very bad choices in terms of the economy. If we, God forbid, raise interest rates right now while unemployment is still elevated, that could be a real economic disaster.
Anti-poverty.
And that's what Esau wants ultimately, but the low-level Edomites, they don't care about them either. It's like how they don't give a fuck about us. They really don't care about them. But all these curses, though, in the book of Deuteronomy that was put on us, now it's sweeping them the most.
The advocates say inflation is only a small part of a bigger problem.
The income inequality that has been growing over the last few decades is really the key concern. We've had wage stagnation in this nation since the early 1970s, and wages have for decades not kept up with the high increases in costs of living.
For Brian, he faces a new challenge. His landlord raised his rent, he can no longer afford it, so he'll be evicted next month.
Damn.
It's like taking this ground because I can't afford to live here. I don't belong. You know, it's a really nice place, but I'm out. You know, only because I can't afford it.
He says if he can't find anyone.
And Esau wept. Anyway, I'm going to end this off. I'm going to just pull these little precepts. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30. I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, at the top, for the context, it says the promise of restoration. Because our people weren't always in lower states, weren't in the projects and the ghettos and shit like that. We actually had a royal way of living. It says, the Lord your power will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your descendants. And you will love him with all your heart and with all your soul, so that you may live. Then Yahweh, your power, will put all these curses upon your enemies who hate you and persecute you. But you best believe that this damn devil, he done said some shit or did some shit to some of our people, man. Probably want to feed certain people, help them out. Now that's fucked up. Now look at them. And it says, let me go on somewhere. It says, and you will again obey the voice of the Lord Yahweh and follow all his commandments I am giving you today. None of these other precepts in line up with that, excuse me. It says, in the book of Exodus chapter 23, verse 22, but if you will listen carefully to his voice and do everything I say, I will be an enemy to your enemies and a foe to your foes. And you see that happening now. That's why, you know, we actually push. You don't have to take matters into your own hand. Just pray on the Most High. Send them prayers that certain stuff will happen in certain regions of the world to whomever. And the Most High will make do on it. Now, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 15, it says, and Yahweh will remove from you all sickness. He will not lay upon you any of the terrible disease you know in Egypt, but he will inflict them on all who hate you. Hey, a lot of people that be talking shit too about this pandemic, they gonna get jacked up too because they don't want to pay no attention. And like the scriptures say, the simple believe every word. So they don't listen to Esau tell them this happening and that's happening. They won't even listen to their own people that's actually warning them about what's really going on now. So they're gonna get jacked up too in the midst of this. It ain't just Esau getting jacked up. Our own people gonna get jacked up too. Because they still don't want to pay attention and play games. The book of Deuteronomy. Let me see. Let me go down some more. Not that one. That ain't the one I was looking for. I just read that. It's the book of Psalm, chapter 137 and verse 7. It says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem. You remember Edom, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. They was like, just like with the slavery, with the lynchings and the hangers. They were saying, raise it then too. With these wages and all the other stuff, they still saying, raise it. The Most High, he gonna remember them and jack their ass up for all that stuff that they've been doing. Let me see, let me get one more precept. My name is up. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 7. And I keep going back to it, so I just need to go ahead and bring it out one more time, not in the song. It says, then the Lord, your power will put all these curses upon your enemies who hate you and persecute you. And these people, they still persecute us to this day, man. They still hate us. And they play them little games like they try to give out stuff and be nice and kind. Look, reality is, they've been hating us since the time of Esau and Jacob was on the earth roaming around together. So I just want to bring this. I ain't going to go on too much longer. I just want to touch on that because I've seen this video. I got a few more videos I'm going to upload through the Spirit. I don't want to rush how this is edifying. Call all you how Shem Shah. Shalom to the left. Hey, he allowing us to see Esau downfall. Look at Esau. They're right here.
For Brian, he faces a new challenge. His landlord raised his rent. He can no longer afford it, so he'll be evicted next month.
It's like taking to the ground because I can't afford to live there.